What's up everyone, and welcome back to my animated series of How I Conquered the Pokémon World. As I've mentioned several times, I have loved Pokémon for many years, but I did go through my middle school phase where I was too old for Pokémon. That's around the time that Gen 4 Sinnoh games came out, making those my least favorite games for a while. However, my first year of high school, my family actually moved several states away, and I found myself facing a big, scary new school all on my own, and I discovered I'm not very good at making friends. I have what some people call NPC energy. If you speak to me, I will respond, but initiating conversation? No thank you. We don't do that here. During this time is when I really got back into video games, including Pokémon. Using my NPC skills, I did eventually make a whole 2 friends, one of which quickly got a boyfriend. I guess I must have mentioned my love for Pokémon in passing because one day he actually offered to give me his old Nintendo DS, and a copy of Pokémon Black too. I guess this was kind of his way of being like, "Ooh, look at me, I'm nice to your friend, aren't I a good boyfriend?" Little did he know, I think he's the reason I started to explore more than just the first 2 generations of Pokémon games, and brought me to where I am today. Wherever you are, my good sir, you have my thanks. Long story short, Pokémon Black 2 is the game that got me back into Pokémon, and so for that reason, that is the Unova? I don't know. Anyway, the Unova game that I have chosen to play through. I know Pokémon Black and White should be played before Black and White 2, but whatever. My conquering of Unova. Here we go. My mother and I picked up and moved again, leaving Sinnoh in the politically savvy hands of Sibelius the Machamp, and we ended up in Castelia City, where my mom one day tells me this lady named Bianca has come to visit and wants to give me a Pokémon, so I'm like, alrighty, here we go again. I then meet my neighbor and new rival who I named Trent, another old Pokémon friend. Man, my mom sure has a knack for picking small towns to live in that have neighbor boys who are conveniently my same age. Anyway, new edgy friend Trent and I head into town to find Bianca, and she offers me my new starter Pokémon. Since I just had the water type and I really don't like Emboar, I decide to break the cycle a little bit and go with the grass type again. I chose Snivy, and she happens to be female, so I nickname her Alcia, which is the name of a type of flower. She's got a serious nature, so neutral stats. Fine by me. Trent challenges me to a battle, and it's an easy win. We get some Pokédexes and go through the basics with Bianca, and then Trent's little sister asks me to deliver a map to him since he has apparently already taken off. Oh boy, this again. So I agree, and Alcia and I set out to explore the new Unova region and build up a new team. Past Flockacy Town, I come across a ranch full of cute little Mary. Trent also happens to be there, so I beat him in another battle and deliver his map. The rancher asks us to help him find his lost herdier, and Trent freaks out on him a little, then we go looking for it. While exploring the ranch, I manage to find a Riolu, so I happily catch her and name her Minya. I also catch a Lillipup, who I name Molly, which was the name of a stuffed toy dog I slept with every night as a kid. However, Molly has a modest nature, which is horrid. For those of you who don't pay much attention to Pokemon natures, it basically affects which of the Pokemon stats are going to be higher and which are going to be lower. Modest natures are not good for Lillipups, so I found a new Molly. We save the rancher's herdier from some weird dude in a stupid hat who claims to be part of Team Plasma, which is basically PETA, and then I head back into town to train with this cool-looking dude named Alder. He then tells me a brand new gym just opened back up in Castelia City, which is where I just was. So I turn around and go back to get my first gym badge. Sharon is the gym leader here, and he uses normal-type Pokemon, which normally would be perfect with a Riolu, but her only fighting-type move right now is Counter, and I didn't want her to be over-leveled in order to get Force Palm, so I just shrug and decide to give it our best go. In our first ever run-through of Pokemon Black 2, Sharon actually gave me quite a bit of trouble. He likes to set up with Workup, which raises attack and special attack, so if he gets off too many of those, his Lillipup can be a lot to handle. We start the battle, and I lead with Alcia to wrap and Vine Whip Sharon's Patrat. He uses a potion on it, which is actually a good thing because I think that's his only one. Patrat eventually goes down, so I send out Minya to deal with the Lillipup. Sharon instantly goes for Workup and then hits a Tackle, which drops me down to just 3 HP. But, unluckily for him, Minya hits back with her counterattack to take him out. Perfect timing. 1 gym down, and the first badge is ours. After the gym, I make my way back to Driftveil City. On Route 20, I catch a Venipede, which I name Foxglove, a poisonous purple flower. I've never had a Scolipede on my team before, so I was looking forward to getting one. We're asked to beat up the construction workers to get them excited about their jobs or something, so we happily do, and Molly evolves into Herdier. After some idiot thinks he's made a great deal by trading me a great ball for a Pokeball, moron, I decide to take on this city's gym. The gym leader here is the Poison-type trainer, Roxy. She's a super cute rock band singer, and when entering her gym, she was in the middle of a performance singing a really cute Pokemon song, so I gladly sat in and listened for a while before eventually taking the stage so I could challenge her. Roxy led with her coughing, so I led with Foxglove. She starts hitting me with assurance attacks, but I start a rollout, and with every hit, my attack becomes increasingly stronger until the coughing finally goes down. Foxglove only has 6 HP left at this point, but I know we've got one last rollout left, so when she sends out her ace Whirlipede, we land that final hit and knock it out instantly. Awesome timing, again. Roxy gives us our second badge, and we happily walk back outside, only to get scouted by some blonde dude who offers to give us a tour through Poke Studios, which is, I guess, where they make movies. It's kind of a waste of time, but I go along with it and even get to star in my own film. The local ship captain, who had apparently abandoned his ship to try and be a movie star, sees how good I am and decides to give up on his own dream of being an actor and goes back to his ship. Which is good, because now I can finally hitch a ride over the ocean to Castelia City, which is what we do. Once we're there, we meet up with rival Trent again, and he tells us that Team Plasma is hiding somewhere in the city, and he wants my help finding them, so I'm like, another evil team. Got it. And he offers to help me explore the sewers, so that's where we go. While battling some wild Pokemon down there, Alcia evolves into a Servine, and Minya evolves into a Lucario. Riolus evolve when their happiness is maxed out, which I didn't think would happen this early in the game, but nonetheless, I was super excited to have a Lucario on my team now. We beat up the Plasma Grunts we find hanging out in the sewers, and then I go off to explore the big city for a bit. There's a lot of buildings to check out, and some sandy areas outside the city with wild Pokemon in them, so I go there. And that's where I find a Sandile, who I excitedly catch and add to the team. I name him Gobi, after the Gobi Desert, and place him up front to give him some quick experience. A Crocodile is such a great team member to have in this game, so I'm super excited to get one. After training up Gobi for a bit, I feel we're ready to take on the gym here as well. The leader here is Berg, and he likes bug types. We step into the gym and start the battle with Foxglove, and Berg leads with a Swadloon. It can't do much damage to me, so a few Venoshocks take it down. Next is Dwebble, so I start up another rollout, but he kills us with Smackdown. Shoot. So I send out Alcia to finish off the Dwebble with Leaf Tornado. Last is Molly versus his ace, Levani. We do a bit of damage with takedown attacks, but Levani takes out Herdier pretty quick. So I send in Alcia, but she goes down too. Dang, I had totally forgotten how strong this Levani is without a fire or flying type on the team. I finally send out Minya, who tanks a lot of damage from Razor Leaf, but then fires back with another counter to get us the win. Awesome work, girl. We get our badge and move on, leaving the big, bustling city behind. Good riddance. Outside the city, we meet a strange scientist man named Colrus. We then explore the desert resort for a bit, finding some buried treasure and eventually coming across a Sigilith. I catch her and name her Nazula. She's got a gentle nature. That's perfect. Welcome to the team, you weird bird hieroglyph thing. After some more trekking along, we finally get to Nimbasa City, another big area with lots of flashy buildings and bright lights. We train up at the sports stadiums by taking on the athletes there, we ride a roller coaster and a Ferris wheel, and check out the Pokemon musicals while fighting some fellow trainers. Gobi evolves into a Krokorok, and with that perfectly timed evolution, I decide it's time to take on the gym here as well. The gym leader here is Elisa. She's not only an electric-type trainer, but also a model, and whew, is she good at both those things. I enter the gym and make my way across the catwalk, or whatever it's called, showing off my team to the audience as I battle the gym trainers. And when I finally get to Elisa, I'm feeling pretty confident, even though I don't have any rock or ice type moves to deal with the Emolga, which is what she leads with, by the way. I led with Gobi and used a swagger right away to try and get it to damage itself. We used a crunch to get off some damage, and not only does Elisa heal her Pokemon, but it also instantly breaks out of confusion, which is literally the worst thing to happen after using swagger, because that means I just gave it a free attack boost. However, Gobi is a hard hitter and can't be bothered by electric attacks, so Crunch eventually does take it out. After that, and getting my Moxie ability power-up, both the Flaffy and the Zebstrika were absolutely no issue. Elisa gives me my badge, and then shows me off one more time as we leave the gym, and I get ready to move on. However, outside there's more Team Plasma members causing trouble, and Trent just has to pick a fight with them, and then drag me into it. He's clearly got some anger issues. I then finally make it to Driftveil City, where I meet some ex-Team Plasma members who left Team Plasma after their leader, N, also quit the team. These dudes feel pretty bad about stealing people's Pokemon, and I guess are trying to make things right after their past mistakes, which is very commendable, but Trent still doesn't seem to like them. They then gift me with a free Zorua, who their leader N used apparently. Aw, hey buddy, you're pretty cute, but I don't really need another dark type. Sorry. I then wander into the woods where I find a team of scientists who are studying deerling and why they change with the seasons, I think. Anyway, they also gift me a free Pokemon. They tell me it's a rare deerling, which I don't know what makes it rare. Maybe its ability? Or its stats? Anyway, I also have a grass type on the team, so deerling joins Zorua in the box. After training up some more, I feel we're ready to take on Clay, the ground type gym leader in the city. I remember my first few playthroughs, Clay always gave me a really hard time, even though I literally always pick either Snivy or Dewott when playing through Unova. But now, I'm older and wiser, and I'm not scared of him anymore. I make my way through his maze of a mine and challenge him to a battle. Come here, Texas man, I've got Alcia all trained up and ready to take you on. He leads with his own Krokorok, and I lead with Servine. I set up Leech Seed to do little bits of damage and healing while I start getting off some growths. He does some good damage, but eventually Leaf Blade takes him out. Next is Sandslash. I don't want to risk getting hit with a crit, so I heal up. He does end up doing a fair amount of damage, but a crit Mega Drain on my end sucks up all his health, healing me back up. Nice. Last is his Excadrill. I set up a Leech Seed again and attempt a Mega Drain, but it doesn't do much damage. I have to heal up again, but then I manage to crit a Leaf Blade, and that does the job. Great job, Alcia. Clay gives us our badge, and then takes me outside to show me and Trent the Pokemon World Tournament building, which I've never actually gotten into before. But apparently you just battle a lot of old gym leaders and stuff? Anyway, we do a trial run of battles, and naturally I win them. Then I move on. We attack some more Team Plasma members, and then I stray off the beaten path for a bit to explore some ruins I've never actually noticed in past playthroughs. And while doing that, I actually find a static encounter for a Volcarona that I had not ever come across before. I knew there was one somewhere in the game, but I thought the Volcarona would be like post-game, super high level. But it was only level 30, which was totally reasonable. I got really excited and gladly captured and added him to the team with the nickname Eos, which I think is a sun god or something. However, I really didn't need 2 bug types, so with a heavy heart, I sent Foxglove to the box. I was really looking forward to trying out a Scolipede on the team, but Volcarona is just so much better. Rest well, buddy. After that, I get the Surf HM, which I teach to Molly of all Pokemon. Dogs are good swimmers. I then go into Chargestone Cave, where I catch some cool new Pokemon, including a Tynamo, which I named Chi. We then left the cave and entered into Mistralton City. The gym leader here is Skyla, who's a flying type trainer, and I realized I don't have anything for flying types, except for the new Tynamo I just caught, so I add Chi to the team in place of Molly, and train it up until it evolves into an Electric. We then climb the Spiral Tower and ring the bell at the top for no real reason, then go back down, ready to battle. Skyla has never been much of a threat, especially if you've got an Electric type. I lead with Minya the Lucario, and she leads with Swoobat. 2 Shadow Claws take it out. Then I send out Electrike to deal with her ace Pokemon, Swanna. She crits a Bubble Beam, but we land a one-hit KO with Spark. Last is Skarmory vs Eos, but he doesn't last long with Fire Spin. And with that, the battle is over. We win our 6th badge. Then Skyla meets me and Professor Juniper at the airport and gives us a ride in her plane to Lentimas Town. You know, I've never actually had to say these town names out loud before. There's nothing to do here, so I quickly leave and make my way through Reversal Mountain with Bianca, where Alcia finally evolves into a Serperior. We then get to Undella Town, where Trent challenges me to another battle that I easily win, and then I head up to Route 13, where we stumble across a wild Cobalion, who I guess appeared before me because it can sense I'm a strong trainer and it wants my help protecting the world of Pokemon. Heh, buddy, I can't blame you, I'm a pretty big deal around here. I catch the Cobalion and throw him in the box because I don't want him on my team. I then make it to Lacunosa Town, which again is a town that doesn't have much to stick around for, other than Trent picking another fight with more Team Plasma grunts. Jeez, dude, chill out a bit, stop dragging me into these things. But Gobi gets to evolve into a Crocodile, so that's at least good. After that, I make my way through Route 11, where we find the legendary Pokemon Virizion, or as I like to call it, Verizon Wireless. They say Virizion also wanted my help because it could sense impending doom, but I think it just wanted revenge for the fact that I caught his buddy and didn't use him. So I also catch the Virizion and throw him into the PC, so he can hang out with his buddy. Finally, we get to Opelucid City, where there's actually a gym, giving me a reason to hang around and train up some more. The gym leader here is Drayden, and he's got dragon types, which I have nothing super effective against. But I've got Gobi, and he's got Foul Play, which does damage based on how much attack the opponent has. And I know those dragon types have some high attack stats. After prepping a bit, we enter the gym, climb the cool dragon statue, and challenge Drayden to a battle. I lead with Gobi, and he leads with Druddigan. I use Swagger to raise its attack and then hit a foul play to use that raised attack stat against him. Instant kill. With that, I get my Moxie boost, raising my own attack stat, and then I use the exact same strategy to kill the Flygon, getting myself another attack boost with Moxie. Last is Haxorus. I know he's got Dragon Tail on that thing, which will make me switch my attack Pokemon, which will cause Gobi to lose his boosted attack, so I switched up my strategy a bit and used Dig instead to dodge 2 Dragon Tails. 2 Dig successfully takes out the Haxorus. Man, Gobi is totally broken, super OP right now. With that, Drayden gives us our 7th badge, but before I can celebrate too much, Team Plasma and their flying pirate ships suddenly attack the city, shooting ice everywhere and freezing everything, which is super uncool. Some wackos called the Shadow Triad steal some DNA splicers from Drayden, which he foolishly tried to show me. They say they're going to use them on the legendary Pokemon Kyurem and freeze the world and kill all humans to liberate Pokemon or something. Whatever. They then leave and I'm told that I should take on the final gym before helping save the world, which makes no sense, but okay. While on my way there, I use a Thunderstone to evolve Electrike into an Electros, so now my team is fully evolved and looking really cool. Once we arrive in Humilau City, Trent and I have to fish the gym leader Marlin out of the water and challenge him to a gym battle. I actually have a bit of trouble navigating my way across the lily pads to get to his platform, but once I do, we start the battle. Marlin is, of course, a water-type trainer, so with both Alcia and Chi on my team, I'm not worried. He leads with a Caracosta, and I lead with Superior. In the end, I didn't even need to use Chi. Alcia just swept the entire team by setting up growths and leaf-blading everything to death. Easy win. We got our 8th and final badge, and then head off to save the world yet again. Oh, on the way we also catch the Terrakion, and he joins his friends in the box. We find Team Plasma's ship and manage to get a glimpse of the legendary Pokemon Kyurem, but we get kicked off and the ship flies away before we can stop them. So we make our way to the giant chasm where it's been reported to have a massive temperature drop, and find Team Plasma again. Trent and I re-ambush them and steal the password to get deeper into their hideout, where Trent finally finds a Pokemon that was stolen from his little sister a few years ago or something. Guess that's why he was so mad all the time. But the Pokemon doesn't remember him, and he pretty much taps out after that, so I move on without him. I then stumble across Colress, and while battling him, he's all like, yeah, I'm a bad guy or whatever, but I really like seeing the hidden power of Pokemon, which I thought Team Plasma could do, but you're pretty good at bringing that out, so yeah, we cool. And I'm like, okay, thanks, and just move past him. We also take out the Shadow Triad and go into this creepy-looking cave where the main baddie, the leader of Team Plasma, Getsus, has been hiding out. Then the fabled N shows up on the back of the legendary Pokemon Zekrom to try and save the world too. But he's got really bad timing because Getsus just uses the stolen DNA splicers to fuse Zekrom and Kyurem together, making one giant mess of a Pokemon. I step forward with Gobi, and together we defeat the fused dragon to stop him from killing people, I guess. I don't really remember what Getsus' plans were, but anyway, we defeat the fused Pokemon and they separate, and Getsus gets all pissed and retaliates by attacking me, which makes sense. Since I already had Gobi in the front of my party, and I'm not given any time to rearrange my team, Gobi gets sent out against Getsus' first Pokemon, Cofagrigus. This battle was actually pretty rough. The Cofagrigus poisoned Gobi, and its mummy ability takes away my Moxie ability, which really sucked. Gobi manages to get off a Swagger before going down, and Chi comes out to finish the job with Crunch. Alcia is able to take down the Seismitoad and the opponent's Electros, but Drapion takes Alcia out. Eon comes out after to get a Fire Blast to kill the Drapion, but we miss Will-O-Wisp against the Hydreigon and go down to Rock Slide. I send out Minion next to Swords Dance. We clutch 11 HP after a Dragon Rush, only to flinch. Ugh! I have to heal up, but then we hit a Force Palm and manage to knock out the cheat-level Hydreigon. Last is Toxicroak. We go for Aura Sphere, but go down. So I send out Nazula and one-hit KO with Psychic. A bit scary of a battle, but we won. Anon gets his take off, leaving just his random cave behind, and I guess I saved the world. I didn't get to catch the legendary Pokemon or anything, they all just kind of peace out. Okie dokie, off to the Pokemon League I go then. After making my way through the Victory Road, we got into our final rival battle with Trent. Oddly enough, his Unpheasant actually gave us a bit of trouble, but once it was out of the way, the rest of the battle was pretty easy. He then rewards us with a Thundershock TM, which would have been nice to have earlier, but whatever. Thanks, edgy boy. See you when I've taken over the region. After some more training and prepping, we were ready to face the Elite Four of Unova. Time to conquer another region, boys and girls. This is the first game in my run that actually allows you to challenge the Elite Four in whatever order you choose. But I was going into this kind of blind, so it made no difference to me. I happen to step into Chantal's room first. She uses the ghost type, but I've got some great team members to deal with her. Gobi takes out her Cofagrigus, her Golurk, and her Chandelure with very little issue, and she takes out her Driftblim with a critical hit Thunderbolt. Nice. First win down. Next room I enter happens to be Grimsley, who uses the Dark type. I start out with Eos since I don't know what his team consists of, and he starts the battle with a Liepard. I one-hit KO with Silverwind. Next is Scrafty. I hit a powerful fly, but go down to Rock Tomb. I then send out Minya to finish it off with an Aura Sphere, but then his Crocodile comes out to crit an Earthquake and take out Minya. So I send out Alcia to deal with the Crocodile and Gobi to deal with the Bisharp. They both succeed, 2 wins down. The next room I happen upon is Caitlyn. She uses the Psychic type. Man, lots of similar types this round in the league, huh? I start with Eos again, and she starts with Musharna. I Will-O-Wisp to burn, and it tries to burn me back with its Synchronize ability, but it doesn't affect Eos. Mwahahaha. It puts up a good fight with Yawns and Full Restores being used, but Silverwind eventually takes it down. She then sends out her Sigilif, and I send out Gobi to use my Swagger and Foul Play combo to kill it. Next she sends out Reuniclus. I leave Gobi out to use the same strategy, but she one-hit KOs us with a Focus Blast. Sheesh, so I send out Eos again to hit my last Silverwind, and we survive a Psychic attack with just 1 HP. I hit her Fire Blast to take it out. Last is Gothitelle, and I send out Chi to get off some crunch attacks, and eventually kill it. Third win is ours. Last of the Elite Four is Marshall, but he uses the Fighting type, which, frankly, I'm not afraid of. I lead with Nazula this time, and he leads with Throw. I set up Reflect and Cosmic Power while tanking hits, then knock it out with a Psychic. Conkeldurr, 1-hit KO. Next is Sock. His sturdy ability lets him survive our Psychic, and he hits a Rock Slide to do a ton of damage. We both heal back up and try again, but he manages to hit every single Rock Slide, and I eventually go down. Dang, I was hoping Nazula could sweep the team by herself. Oh well. I then send out Eos to finish him off with a Fire Blast. Last is Mienshao, but I burn it and use Fly to take it out as it misses a high jump kick. We win. And that's it, the Elite Four is down. All that's left now is the champion, Iris. She's a Dragon-type trainer like Drayden, which I still don't have any Ice-type moves to help deal with her team. Bad planning on my part. But my team is pretty good, and we've had a pretty easy time so far, so I step into the champion's room, and she challenges us to our final battle of the Unova region. She leads with Hydreigon, and I lead with Eos, only to miss my Will-O-Wisp and go down to Surf. Awesome way to start. I send out Minya next, who somehow manages to clutch a Flamethrower and one-hit KOs with a close combat. Next up is Gobi versus Druddigon. I tried to use my OP strategy again, but the Druddigon manages to break through the confusion and hit a Focus Blast. I still hit a Foul Play, but it's just not enough, and we go down. I send out Nazula to tank hits while I heal Gobi back up. I really need to keep using him. Nazula goes down to a Rock Slide, but Gobi comes back out, hits another Foul Play, and Druddigon is done. Iris sends out Lapras next, unfortunately, which I know Gobi can't take one hit from, so despite him activating his Moxie ability, I have to switch him out for Chi. We used a Volt Switch to send out Alcia next to tank a hit and retaliate with the Leaf Blade to take down the Lapras. Next, she sends out her ace Pokemon, Haxorus. I hit a Ring Out, but he Dragon Dances and takes Alcia down with an X-Scissor. I send out Gobi, only for him to also go down to X-Scissor. Oh no. I send out Chi to get off the paralysis while I heal up Gobi again. Chi manages to paralyze the Haxorus, but then goes down, so I send out Gobi to try again, and thankfully, because of Haxorus using Dragon Dance to boost his own attack, Foul Play does extra damage, and he goes down. Whew! Next, Iris sends out her Aggron, but he damages himself with a Double Edge, and I survive and kill him with an Earthquake. Last is Archeops, who does manage to crit in Acrobatics to take Gobi down, but that's alright, he served his purpose. I send out a healed up Chi to crit Thunderbolt and knock out the Archeops with one final hit. And with that, it's over. We've won. I was seriously worried when it came to that Haxorus, but we managed to pull through. With that, we enter the Hall of Fame again and become the champion of Unova. I was super proud of my team during this playthrough. I got to use some really great hard hitters and really loved using all their moves and abilities to my advantage. Gobi was definitely the MVP of the team this time around. I did notice it was a bit more of a chore to get through the main story, and honestly, I think it's just because there's so much dialogue and plot with these games, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong. But when you're not really playing for the story, it can drag a little bit. Also, grinding against wild Pokemon this game is super time-consuming. Thankfully, I didn't have to do it too much because of how much EXP trainer battles can offer, but still, it sucked up a lot of time. Also, I wasn't offered the legendary dragon this time around. only the Swords of Justice guys that I really don't care for. But anyway, I did still enjoy my time in Unova, and I'm looking forward to coming back to this team for some post-game. Until then, I've still got a few more regions to conquer.